Hello. Welcome to the latest edition of our Town Administrator Update. Chance for us to sit down with Town Administrator Paul Sagarino, find out what's going on. So thanks again for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me, Rich.
So as we'd like to do, just sort of start off with things coming up, any sort of events on the horizon that you want to, make sure people are aware of?
Yes, absolutely. On the upcoming weekend, we have an open house scheduled for the new Fire Station 2 down on Terrace Hall Ave on Saturday between 10 and 2. I know I saw you this morning. We had
Yes.
the ribbon cutting at the station. It really is, it's a fabulous building. We're really thrilled to be opening it today, and we're finally able to provide our firefighters a phenomenal workspace to work in down there, because they live in these stations and they spend days there, and we're finally able to replace the substandard station that we had there before. So we're really happy to provide that environment, and I know I saw you there, so it really is
Yes,
a beautiful
I was filming.
building, and I think we should be very proud of it. Special thanks to the Board of Selectmen and all town meeting, Ways and Means, Capital, and the public support for that facility. It really came out phenomenal, and I would urge you, if you're in town this weekend, please do stop by. There's nothing really formal planned. You can walk around, see the inside of the station, and I think you would agree that it's definitely something that's worth seeing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and if people are familiar with what was there before, it's night and day difference.
Yeah.
It's just and it's staying on the station. It's not just a nice new facility. It's a good. I mean, it allows more capacity for that side of town.
Yes, and kudos to former town administrator John Petrin. He wanted to design the station for the future. So, in other words, it has enough space where if we want to transition firefighters from the central station down to that station, we have the ability to sort of deploy firefighters to where the calls and where they're needed. So the call volume has picked up on that side of town, as everybody knows. We've had
Right.
a lot of development over there, and in the future, if that trend continues, we'll be able to allocate firefighters down to that facility, so we won't have to worry about expanding. It's built to handle us now and also handle us to the future.
Yeah, I was talking to Chief Yetman, and for a piece that people will be able to see probably tomorrow. The old building was pretty much built for 3 people and it had a bay and a half. This has got 3 full bays and capacity for 8 firefighters to be stationed there. Something else that's coming up is we got 4th of July.
4th of July, I'm out of town for the 4th of July, but I know that the committee's been working hard to create a great event for the public. I believe we have fireworks on Sunday.
Right. Yes.
The Sunday before 4th of July, and the 4th of July parade obviously is on the 4th of July, but I know that the committee's been working hard, and they'll have a great slew of activities on the common for everybody to participate in. It's been very well received by the public over the years, and I know everybody looks forward to this event, those folks that aren't going away for the weekend and everything.
Right. So the fire. There's going to be a band on the common, like you said, this Sunday. They're different days this time. So it's going to be 4 on the floor, I think, is the band, a rock band. They're going to start at 6, and then the fireworks at 9. And I believe the parade is at 11 on Thursday.
Yep.
So plenty of stuff for people to do.
Absolutely.
A couple other things that have come up recently. So we are, Burlington as a community is in part of a process to be for this Green Community Initiative. Can you talk a little bit about what that is and what steps were taken this week to sort of further us in that goal?
Sure. Green Communities program at the state is a program where they try to work with communities to reduce their energy usage by 25% over a period of time. And to help us achieve those goals, they provide grant funding to the community for various projects. With the support of the Board of Selectmen last February, we agreed to pursue this designation from the state. We've completed a lot of steps up until now, and recently at this past Monday's meeting, one of the requirements of the program is that we adopt fuel-efficient vehicle policy and anti-idling policy in order to conserve energy. We already buy fuel-efficient vehicles, so it was just more a sense of formalizing what we already do. The policy exempts police and fire equipment, so I know
Yes.
that's always the first thing people ask about a fuel-efficient vehicle, is that we're not going to have to buy electric police cars and
Yeah.
electric fire trucks. I think that for whatever reason, because the technology is really new, I think if they want a fire truck, they want to make sure it's going to get to the house. So I don't
Yeah,
think
well-
anyone wants to mess around with uncharged batteries when it's an emergency situation.
Yeah,
But,
we can expend some gasoline for emergencies, I guess.
So the board generously supported that initiative, and they've continued to support us. They adopted the policies. We'll be asking the school committee to adopt the same, and then I think we have one final hurdle where there's a lot of work to be done at DPW to establish what our energy baseline usage is now and all those types of things. And to meet that end, we received a grant from the state to assist Public Works, and it's just a lot of information gathering and putting it in the right format so that we can sort of track our progress towards meeting the 25% reduction goal. So that's pretty much the last step, and we're hopeful that will be accepted into the program in the fall. And what that'll do is once you get into the program, there's an initial grant, and I believe our grant is $170,000 or so that we can use for energy efficiency type projects. And we have no shortage of heating systems, HVAC systems, electrical build-outs where we will be able to find many uses for this grant money. So aside from the initial fund, then we become eligible for additional amounts where we would have to compete against other communities in the program on an annual basis. But when we looked at it, some of the communities that have been in the program for 8 or 9 years, I mean, some of them have got close to $1.8 million over that time. So.
Wow.
They're small, they're good-sized grants, but they add up a lot over time. And again, we have unlimited amount of projects that we're going to need to do anyway on the town's dime. And to be able to have this assistance to sort of offset some of those costs, I think is going to be a great byproduct aside from us reducing our energy usage.
Right, which in turn will also save even more money.
Correct.
We can get
Yep.
that down. So that would be a win-win all around.
Absolutely.
And last thing, there was a discussion. It was quite complicated on Monday. I don't want to get into the complicated part of it, but Powers and Sullivan, our town auditors, came up with the 2018 or FY18 audit report. Everybody seems happy. Give us the broad strokes.
Sure. The town's always had a really good financial process. I think we do a really good job of maintaining our records and managing the community's money. And I guess I say that. I used to do the job. So,
It's true.
But the bottom line is that, an audit report basically tells you whether the financial information is accurate. So we're really in a beneficial position that the auditor has surmised that our information is accurate, but it also shows that we have positive operating results. So we're doing well financially. You could still have a good audit, a good clean audit, and be going into bankruptcy. All that would say is that, hey, you're accurately reporting that you're going into bankruptcy. So, I'm happy on both counts. That we had a good, solid year financially, but I'm also very happy that the auditor was able to say that we're reflecting everything properly in our accounting records and our reports are accurate. So that's really, really important to us.
Well, and one of the things that kind of stood out is, he made it a point to sort of praise the town for thinking into the future with things like OPEB and stuff like that. Just a quick word on the importance of, funding the future liabilities.
Well, again, we couldn't do it without the support of, the board, Ways and Means Committee, and town meeting being very forward-thinking along with us. We can't do it without their support. And we've implemented a plan for OPEB, which is future liability for retirees' health benefits. And essentially what they want us to do is just set aside some money for the future on that. It's a big liability for us right now. We're not required to actually provide any funding to that, but due to the generosity and I would say, very intelligent thinking of our boards and committees, we are setting aside money every year towards that liability. And we continue to do that in the future. And I don't know if it ever will solve our problem of the liability. All I know is that I think 30 years from now, when we're talking about OPEB at town meeting, you and I probably won't be here, but I think that the folks that are in power at that time will say, hey, this problem's not solved, but we're certainly doing a lot better than any other communities in the state, because previous town meetings had the foresight to start setting some money aside for this. So
Yeah.
I'm really proud of what we've been able to do with that.
Yeah, and Treasurer, Tax Collector Brian Curtin will definitely make the arguments for it. He's always been quite supportive of that program.
Yes, he's been involved in OPEB with us from the start, because it's so involved with health insurance. And we got a great team with a Ways and Means subcommittee that spends a lot of time on it. That's Frank Monaco and David Tate. They spend a disordinate amount of time reviewing that liability and strategizing us with different ways to sort of meet that liability. Like I say, I think the town's done a great job. No community can afford to set aside the type of money that you should, but I think we're on a path to really mitigating that future liability for the town.
Very good. Well, that's all the questions that I had for us today. I want to wish everyone a happy and safe 4th of July holiday, and thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Rich. It's great to be here.
Appreciate it.